Okay, folks, this has actually come up quite often in conversations recently because the impending downturn on the market, however, that doesn't seem to be like that right now. However, there is a rebalance in the market itself. So this is all about how sellers can get the edge in a buyer's market, because it's now beginning to move towards a wee bit to a buyer's market as such. Now, in the last couple of weeks, we've sold properties in 2 days, 3 days before we got to social media closing dates, and all these are appearing right now. But this might just be a short-term thing. So this is what this is all about, how the sellers can get the edge in a buyer's market, because it will change the buyer's market at some point in time. It's kind of round about 60-40 right now with sellers. But that will rebalance quite soon. So if you're looking to sell your home, here's how to get the best deal in the current market. Unless you've been living under a rock or in a cave, you'll know that the housing market has hit that kind of bumpy patch in the latter part of last year. And it's maybe beginning to pick up a wee bit in this year, but it hasn't in the first couple of months. After years of booming prices, feverish bidding, these things are starting to cool, and rising inflation and surging interest rates are causing that market to cool. While there's still plenty of business to be done, the balance has shifted and buyers now have a little more room to flex. So what does this actually mean for sellers? Well, essentially, there's no room for complacency. So focus on getting these 4 things right. Now, the first one for me is presentation. Go that extra mile with the presentation of your property. Declutter and depersonalize. In other words, family trinkets, photographs lying about everywhere, all over the place. It's all right. If you've got a photograph in your wall, it's fine. Don't take it off the wall, because you often leave this big mark on the wall itself. But you've got things lying about and it looks pretty cluttered and it's all your personal items, and then just store them up in a box and put them in a cupboard just out of the way. There's always a space in the cupboard somewhere, no matter how much you open it and you think, wow, I'm not going to get anything else in here. There will be space, trust me. And then dress the room so buyers understand the function of each space in the room. For example, a bedroom should actually have a bed in it. So if you've got a bed somewhere else that you can actually fold out and put new covers, put new covers on as well. This is essential. Often we just accommodate ourselves. We're just like, well, we could put any bed cover on here, and it's not the greatest. For a little investment from your local Argos or your Amazon or something like that, or your local shop, which could actually just provide easy, cost-effective bed covers, a bedspread, and a bed and pillow covers. That's all you're needing, just something to cover up so it looks nice and new. It also has that clean smell about it. You know what you get when you open these covers freshly for the first time? It gives that sort of clean odor out. It's like the new car smell. If that should make sense, the new car smell that you get. You actually get that in a spray. Maybe if you can get that for your house as well, that'd be perfect. Often people use Febreze, for example. So define a room as it should be defined. If it's a home office, it's a home office, and define it as that. But it could be used as a bedroom. You don't need to go out your way and put a bed in there for that reason. But if it's clearly defined as a home office, it's easy for us to describe it as a bedroom. However, it's currently utilised as a home office. So you don't need to change everything. If you've got a pile of stuff in your room, and it just looks like a pile of stuff in your room, then declutter it and sort it out and define the room. Hopefully that's giving you an indication about presentation. The next one is pricing. This is key. We do have home reports, remember, and we do know what the pricing is in terms of the home report value. However, there is an opportunity on some occasions to actually influence the surveyor to get a better home report, which gives everybody a better starting point, makes it easier for somebody to get financing on that property price as well. With mortgage costs high, buyers and lenders are wary of overvalued properties. A good agent will always advise you on the right price, and on the right starting price. So don't try and go too high because you'll scare off buyers, or too low because you'll sell yourself short. The next one for me is the be all and end all. It is marketing. Now, there's a difference between marketing and advertising. Advertising is just saying this is the price of the property. Marketing is, why do you want to live in that property and what will it be for you? So in other words, It's a good digital mobile strategy, especially because most people, and I've shown it every single week, most people, about 90% of your audience actually look at property on mobile. So this is the sort of format you have to appeal to. And you have to make sure you get video content in that format and not just this wee thin line in between where you can see a horizontal landscape video. And if you turn it like that, sometimes it will adapt to that screen, but sometimes it won't, and it actually looks quite odd. So you have to make sure you have a good digital mobile strategy. Great marketing photos, always essential still. That are really good, solid, because some people will see photographs and an easier way to them in terms of how they interpret it than actually seeing a video, because a video is maybe too intense for them. So it will appeal to different markets. So great marketing photos, and most of all, emotive descriptions. In other words, it's things like idyllic. It's things like, it's things like finished to a high standard. Now, obviously, it has to be finished to a high standard. It could be things like, as well, schools close by, because that might be important to the person looking for it. Ideal family home, because it is an ideal family home for someone. So these are all things that might actually appeal to someone at the other side, and it might actually jump out at them immediately and make them want to look further. That's what marketing's all about. It's getting someone to click through, to engage with the next step in the process, in order to take them down that funnel, that sales funnel. In other words, everybody comes in at the top, and you filter them down to the people that are qualified, and these are the ones ready to go and possibly to make the offer you can't refuse. That's what we're after. So that's why we call it a sales funnel. In terms of that. So it's emotive descriptions are a must, and a multifaceted, targeted strategy that makes good use of social media and also email lists as well. So don't forget, email list, email database are very, very important, because it gets, again, in front of an audience that's already pre-qualified within that agent system, as well as social media, which is typically everybody in a particular area actually is only looking for these types of properties in these areas. So what I mean out of that is it's a deliberate process that we have social media pages for East Neuk, for St Andrews, for Leven, for Glenrothes, for Kirkcaldy, for Cooper, and for Dunfermline. That's why we have all these social media pages, because no one in Dunfermline really wants to buy somewhere in East Neuk. I mean, that's few and far between. About 90% to 95% of people actually live and buy and sell within their area, and they don't move out of there. And that's within their region, which is Levenmouth, which is Cooper area, which is St Andrews area, which is the East Neuk area, which is Glenrothes area, which is Kirkcaldy area, which is Dunfermline area. So the people that follow your page, when you put up a video on, it will be completely relevant to them. They will engage with it. Therefore, you will be rewarded or by more social reach with that video, and more people who are completely relevant to that video will actually see it, rather than taking this scattergun approach about having one page for the whole of Scotland, because your agency covers the whole of Scotland, and people that are looking for property in Glasgow end up seeing property in Dundee, and they end up not engaging with the social media platform at all, therefore downgrading that office and that page on social media. Therefore, when you put a property on, no one will see it. Plus, as well, retargeting strategy, which is using data points that are collected in order to actually retarget and get your video and photograph and listing right in front of the target audience you're actually after. That's key and instrumental, because the person that possibly might buy your property is the person that maybe has the budget to buy your property, but they don't have the time to look for your property. And actually, you getting right in front of them on this thing, which most people spend 2 to 3 hours a day on, getting right in front of them on this thing will mean that you're actually targeting these people. This is what targeting strategy is all about on social media and ad reach platforms. So it's key you have that type of marketing going on to get that person that might otherwise not be visiting Rightmove, Prime Location, Zoopla, S1 Homes, and any websites, because they're just too busy in terms of what they're doing, but they will be on their phone. That's why it's key to get there. So the final one for me is then backing that up. Once you get somebody, negotiation is key. Many buyers, encouraged by recent events, are pushing for price reductions. An experienced negotiator can actually advise you on when to sit tight and when to compromise. as well as some buyers will be hoping for a speedy deal so that their mortgage doesn't expire as well. There can also be room to move if you're flexible on timescale. So it's actually having an experienced estate agent and knows when and what key questions to ask a buyer when they inquire about where they are, what their circumstances are, where their budget is, how much more can they pay more than that, what position they're in, have they got a house to sell, are they actually cash, are they cash in a mortgage, have they got the mortgage in principle, have they got, cash in the bank, can they prove that? Are they prepared to do a deal? Are they prepared to wait and conclude missives just now? Are they prepared to pay a deposit? These are all different things that could be answered at the negotiation process. And that is key and instrumental. I've actually just noticed recently another agent, as you go along the Upper Largo area, where two properties have actually suddenly come back on, were actually under offer and sold before. So there is properties actually falling through right now and going back on the market. So it's key these people, the buyers that are actually there, are actually qualified in the beginning, so that doesn't happen. So they obviously know what position they're in, and by accepting their offer, they're in a position to proceed, and they won't back out, or they won't change their circumstances either. Hopefully that's given you a good indication about where you are and where we are in terms of a seller versus buyer's market, and also the 4 key principles I would recommend in order to get the best price and the best circumstances for your home. Anyway, until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV. Bye bye for now.